he he tried. I'm grateful to him for trying, but I guess he realized that he was a Don Quixote as well. He got the Don Quixote complex from me, or syndrome, or not, because it's not complex. He's got the Don Quixote symptoms from me fighting the giants. Yeah, he realized that, so he stopped even contacting me. Even he didn't even call me to ask me about rent anymore. Someone else tried to call me later. I told them, man, I can't pay. What do you want me? Do you want me to pay out of my £305? Be real, be real. And I'm not gonna say other personal challenges and issues that I've went through in the same period, like the bank blocking my bank account and not giving me my money for, I don't know, a month, right before me getting ready to go to do the memorial service for my father, my father's 7 years memorial service, which is in our culture is very important. We do one every year for 7 years, and in the seventh year it's because it's the sort of the last one that we do at the cemetery. It's quite big. Before, years back, before the government forbidding it, we used to dig out the body, religious things. This was tradition. Well, after 7 years, so it was important for me, and the bank just blocked my account, and they didn't want to give me the money. They were saying that I'm doing fraud. What fraud, man? For £305, you can see that there's barely any money coming into my account, and you're saying that I'm doing fraud. Be real. Anyway, during that period, I don't know exactly how it happened, but I managed to get in contact with the council, and I received a new caseworker. A nice guy. He did his best. He called me. We've talked a few times. He gave me some space because he realized that I was under pressure with the bank and and I was like, I was crying. I have to be honest. I was crying. I couldn't handle it anymore. It's like it's you. It felt like everyone is taking a piss. And like so he gave me some space, but he would call me once in a while to check up on me and to see how we can move along, how we can move my case along. And then he called me one day and he told me, Andre, I'm calling you because this is my last day of work, but I want to let you know that your file is ready. Just call in a couple of weeks and check and see, but your file is ready. Then your next caseworker who will be assigned to you, they will just need to see it through because the file is ready. I've called 2 weeks later to the phone number that he gave me. It went straight to the machine. I said, who knows, maybe it's not working now. I've called later, I've called 2 days later, nothing. I didn't know exactly what to do for a few days, so a week later after the first phone call, 3 weeks later after my caseworker left the job, I've called the council and I've asked the operator to get me in contact with the manager. The manager was in holiday. I've called 3 weeks later, I think. The manager was back from holiday, but she didn't pick up. she will call me back. She will get in contact with me. That's what the operator said. I waited, I waited, I waited, I waited. 2 or 3 weeks later, I called back. Operator, can you put me in contact with the manager? She she put me on hold. She returned the call. She was like, "Oh, a new caseworker has been assigned to you, so you will have to talk to your caseworker." I was like, "Can you get me in contact with the caseworker then? Can you please get me in contact with the caseworker then?" The operator was like, "Yeah, but you will have to call in a few weeks' time because your new caseworker is in holiday." I was like, "Are you serious, man? Come on." It's like, this is... But anyway, I've called a few weeks later. My caseworker, she was busy. She didn't have time to answer to me. So the operator left her a message to call me. Nothing. Then, roughly a month and a half ago, I discovered that my room was infested with bed bugs, but the size of them was wow. I thought I recognized bed bugs, but when I saw these, I didn't know what they were. They were so big and so round of how much blood they sucked me off. Oh man, they fed so much that they couldn't stay on their legs. I found them in the corner of one of my bed sheets, which was funny because the bedding was there for like, I don't know, 7 8 days, something like this. This is how fast it happened. And some of them, they were so fat that when they were holding onto the bedding, onto the sheet, they were holding only with the legs of one side. They couldn't reach with the other legs, with the legs from the other side. And a lot of eggs. I didn't know exactly what it is. I just went into the garden. I wanted to check to make sure that they're bed. I was hoping they're not bed bugs. I was hoping there's something else. But one of the neighbors told me that his room was infested before as well, and they're definitely bed bugs. And he said, "These are, you have adults, man. These are like huge. They fed of you for a while now." I remember that I had, like, in my head, I was feeling like bumps and bumps and bumps and always itchy, and I didn't know why. I didn't know why. Anyway, when when the guy confirmed to me that they're bed bugs, I just went, took a bin bag, placed the bedding in the bin bag, tied it up straight to the bin. This was Saturday. Cleaned the room, checked the room as much as I could. I started to all that I could find, all the bed bugs. I've put some of them in a container to show the manager. Oh man, it's such a good thing that I've saved some in a container, live ones, because when I went with the bed bugs to the manager, the bed bugs were hibernating after 2 days of sitting in a jar without the possibility of getting out, in a container without the possibility of getting out or to feed. They hibernate. They go to hibernate for months if they don't feed, if they don't have where to feed from. And he was looking curiously, strangely curious at them, as in, they're dead. Where did you get them from? And I said, they're alive. And I started to hit the container, and one of them started to move, and that was the moment when he opened his eyes and he realized, oh yeah, they're alive. Yeah, we've started the treatment. They've they've called the pest control. We've started the treatment. A few days later, a week later, the pest control guy came. They've sprayed he sprayed the bed, the floor, the wall, the mattress, the way to the door, the way out, all the way to the door, in the cupboard, in the wardrobe. He sprayed everything, but and then he told me, listen, you have to sleep in here, otherwise they will not die. I said, okay, because he explained to me, I've sprayed with chemical with poison now. If no one is in the room, they don't wake up. They go to hibernation. The effect of the poison will wear off in 2 weeks. So for the next 2 weeks, the bed bugs need to walk through the poison in order for them to die. I said, okay. So for the next 2 weeks, I was bed bugs bait. I was bait for bed bugs. 2 weeks later, they were still there. Told the manager, Mr. Manager, they're still there. The pest control guy came again. He called the pest control guy again. No, yeah, he called. He didn't call the pest control. My apologies. See, when I realize that I'm not speaking accurately, or I'm saying something which is incorrect, I correct myself. One day I'm going for a walk and to do some personal stuff. And when I come back, the manager told me, I apologize, I'm sorry. The guy from pest control came, and when I saw him, I said, if you're here, let's do this. So we went into your room and sprayed the room again. I said, I don't mind. Normally I would have been upset if you would have went into my room without my permission, but this is a special situation. I understand. You you caught the guy here. You didn't know when you will have the next chance. I don't want to wait for 1 or 2 weeks longer until he is able to come either. So it's good that you did it. Thank you for doing it. So I had to sleep a while longer in that room. So I slept. In the meantime, they've put 2 smoke bombs. The pest control guy came 3 times. That in total. But after a while, I started to not to be able to sleep in there. I would wake up in the middle of the night feeling them on my body. In the beginning it was alright, but then the more I was becoming conscious of them, the more I would feel them. Until one night, I felt like one was... It's funny to me now. One was scuffing, is that the correct term? One was like skirmishing, was trying to get into my bumhole. You may think I'm joking or that I'm crazy. I don't really care, honestly. I don't really care what you say, what you think. I'm telling you, I felt it trying to get inside my bum. When I felt that, I just jumped out of bed and just like scooped my underwear and my trousers and whatever I could catch in there, a bit of hair as well, and I just pulled my trousers off with my underwear and everything that I could grab. When I looked inside the trousers, on the inside, there was a bed bug there on the trousers. Of course, I took the trousers off, searched them completely. I couldn't sleep anymore, of course. Next day, I went to bed. I started to feel it again. When I've done the same thing, I didn't see anything anymore. But because I didn't see anything anymore, I've pulled my trousers. I went back to bed. It didn't last 1 minute. It started again. I jumped off the bed, changed the trousers, the clothes, everything. I went back to bed. I fell asleep. I woke up because I was feeling one again. I was like, oh my God, come on. After a while of jumping out of bed, being tired, I started to be like, you know what, fuck it, man. They're not able to get inside anyway. Uh, it's doesn't it, it's doesn't make sense, and as far as I know, no insect can survive inside a human body apart from worms and stuff like that which are developed internally anyway. So I was relax, it might be in your head, until I felt it like popping. When I felt it popping, I started to squeeze my butt. And I was feeling it like scratching, trying to get in. I thought that it would be smart to jump off the bed again and try to take it out. And I did it. But when I've put my fingers in between in between my cheeks, the guy slid in. I'm not joking. I felt it like crawling up my bottom hole. And then all of a sudden I didn't feel anything anymore. Nothing. I'm not joking. I didn't feel anything anymore. I was like, wow, I can't believe this. Anyway, coffee, go to the loo, whatever, cigarettes, try do whatever you can. Go to the loo, take it out. I wasn't able to go to the toilet. Eventually I fell asleep because I couldn't feel anything anymore. But slowly, I started to feel more and more of them. Like going up and down, up and down. But now I wasn't feeling them as big as this one. The first one that I felt. It was like small ones, which started to be distressing for me, because if the big one was able to go in, what about the small ones? I went to the manager, I told him, listen, this is starting to affect me. Please give me a different room. He said, Andre, he showed me the board. He said, Andre, I have no open space. I have no room available. The only option that I have is to close your booking. Do you want me to close your booking? And I asked, if you close my booking, does this mean that I'm back in the street? And he said, well, you did nothing wrong. It's not your fault. So I don't see why you would have to sleep on the street. If we would have closed your booking or the council would have closed your booking because of something you've done and we had to kick you out, that would have been a different story. But it's not your fault, so you shouldn't end up in the street. So I said, okay, but eventually, just in case, I will call my caseworker from Camden Council uh, to let her know. I've called her, I've told her, I've tried to explain the situation. She was like, no, he can't close your booking. He's not allowed to close your booking. Let me talk to him. First, no, we can't move you. No, you have to stay there. Oh no, if the room is in livable condition, then we don't have any obligation to move you. You have to stay there. And if you leave, you've made yourself homeless intentionally. And I was like, what do you mean livable? I've just told you that I've been sleeping with bed bugs in the room for the past month, and it reached a level where it's affecting me in here. I can't even tell if when it's happening or not, if it's just a itch or if it's them. Most of the time I could I could make the difference, because there is a difference between when something is itchy here or when something is itchy here, like this. Yeah, when something is itchy on a straight line or even on a line like this, then it's definitely for sure that there is something moving there. So I told them, and she said, we don't care. I was surprised. What? She said, yeah, it's not our problem. What do you mean it's not our problem? If the room is livable, then it's not our concern. Does it smell? Is it dirty? And I said, it is dirty because I didn't get the chance to clean. I didn't get the opportunity to clean for the past month. When they sprayed with poison, they told me, do not brush, do not mop, do not hoover for the next 2 weeks. And the second time when they came, I didn't get to brush, I didn't get to hoover, I didn't get to clean anything at all, because I was out and I didn't know they're coming. I was happy that they've sprayed, but I was unhappy because I didn't get to clean my room. But I said, okay, better like that rather than with bed bugs. And she was like, nah, it's impossible, because normally when it's about bed bugs, they come and spray, and you're not supposed to brush, hoover, or mop for 24, 48 hours. And I told her, you may know what you know, I am telling you what's been told to me. Simple as that. No, it's not true. It's impossible. It's not true. What you're saying, it's not true. I have to talk to the manager. I said, okay, talk to the manager. She talked to the manager. Of course, the manager didn't close the booking anymore. She told her not to close my booking, to keep me there. And for the next few days, every day, I've sent her, she didn't believe me. So she asked me, do you have I told her I have pictures, I have videos. She started to believe me only after I've sent her pictures and videos. She started to believe me only after I've sent her pictures and videos. Yeah. In that moment, she put me in contact with the temporary allocations team. She got in contact with them, she let them know whatever. She told me that she got in contact with them and she's informed them, and she said they're supposed to call you. tomorrow, today, there's no chance for them to call you because it's too late. They've already finished work, but they should call you tomorrow by 5 p.m. They should call you. I've waited the next day, but until 5 p.m. I didn't receive any phone call. Next day, around noon, morning noon, I've called Camden Council operator, may I talk to temporary allocations team? Oh, temporary allocations team is in a meeting. They will call you back. Can I talk to my caseworker? Your caseworker is in a meeting as well. I will leave her a message for her to call you. She didn't call me. Temporary allocations team didn't call me. I've called the next day to talk to my caseworker. She was like, Andre, I've informed them. Now it's up to them. They have to call you and you have to wait for their phone call. When? Next year. She was like, Andre, there's nothing I can do. I'm supposed to help you to get into parent accommodation, but when it comes to temporary allocations, it's the temporary allocations team. I said, okay. She washed her hands of me with that saying. Basically, this is what she did. She washed off her hands of me. Yeah. Of course, I didn't receive any phone calls since then. It's been, I don't know, a week, 10 days. I've started to lose track. Because after a few, because I've continued to sleep in there 2, 3, 4 hours. When I didn't have where to sleep. I couldn't sleep on the floor. It was the same thing. I tried to sleep on the toilet in the shower. It's uncomfortable. You can't sleep properly. I'm telling you because I tried it. You probably have to be very, very drunk. I've heard people falling asleep. Actually, I think I fell asleep on the toilet once when I was a teenager and I was really, really drunk. But apart from that, I've tried now and I was unable to sleep on the toilet. And I would end up like every 2 days to sleep a few hours in that bed. I had no options. What could I have done? Go to someone's house and plant some bed bugs in their house? What could I have done? I would have felt guilty. I would feel guilty if I would. Well, you know what? I should leave that guilt behind because, but I don't see I don't see it normal. If I know that my room is infested with bed bugs and they might be in the clothes, their eggs might be on my clothes somewhere and I don't see them. The clothes can be clean, washed 60 degrees. If the eggs don't die in 60 degrees, the bed bugs do, but the eggs don't die in 60 degrees. They don't die. The eggs don't die. Simple. Because it happened during this period. I will tell you about that as well. Let's talk about amazing council people. And I slept a few hours on every 2 nights because I couldn't last anymore. I had to sleep. No, not I didn't have a proper appetite since that happening going up. I didn't have a proper appetite. If I eat, I try to force myself to eat. It doesn't go in, it feels full. It's weird. Anyway. So one evening I started to feel one between my butt cheeks. So, and previously, a few days earlier, I was able to like hold it there, not letting it go in, and just go into the shower, and whilst taking a hot shower, I let the water run through my ass cheeks. What can what can I say? And it did happen twice. One time I saw a bed bug just in the water, and one time I just didn't feel it anymore, so I suspected that the water just flushed it out. To flush this, the water flushed it out. But this time, this evening, I got into the shower, and after 40 minutes of trying, uh, I didn't. I didn't have any success. So I was getting ready to. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just let me go to the emergency if it's truly in there, and let me see if they have a way. At the same time, let's see if it's in my head, or if uh, if it's for real. Because to me, this happening to me seems surreal, and my logic and the minimum knowledge that I have, general knowledge that I have, tells me that they would be unable. It's impossible for them to survive, especially